Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of the Cartridge and Disc Podcast. This is your Gen X Gamer here, and today I have another topic for you. In this morning, we had one about aliens, and this afternoon we're going to talk about China. That's right, China. And their influence in the anime, manga, and maybe video games. But in general, in the industries that I'm talking about, it looks like there's investors coming in and hiring a lot of artists in order, right, to produce content that is more agreeable to the Chinese point of view, let's say. Now, as we know, the Chinese market does affect the market itself of any market that they join. Look at what they've done for film. Look how they move Hollywood. Hollywood changes their content in order to appease the government, in order to get, rating approval so they can, market their movies there. Of course they change. And the same thing's going to happen in anything that these companies invest, because they have to follow in line with their own government. Now, you might think this is evil, yada, yada, yada. But countries do it all the time. The U.S. does it all the time. And probably Japan is a great example, right? Japan, if you look at a lot of the stories, the U.S. is always an ally. They're always, big brother coming to help. You read some of these stories. But does that seem normal to you? We bombed the crap out of them. We dropped an atomic bomb. Do you really think they feel like we're warm and cozy at that time when a lot of these comics were beaten? No, they were writing them because we had military bases there. Sometimes we got to wake up and smell the coffee, They're not going to make anti-American cartoons and propaganda while you have military bases in their country after we defeated them in World War II. It's just common sense. Now, is that the case now? No, but I'm saying it does happen, right? It does happen. And China wants to exert its influence over the South China Sea and the countries adjacent to it. And anytime they get into media, they want to show the best that China can be to the other countries, so they're more willing to negotiate, so the people themselves, the public at large, has a better impression of them. Just not all the negative news that comes, from Western media, for example. Like, it's really hard to watch a positive Chinese story. They may have another type of government, but I'm sure good things are happening in China, right? When I went there, I saw a lot of positive things, regardless of the government that they have, because you're talking about the people themselves. Not everybody that lives in China is part of the government. People have their own personal and private lives. And it's the same way in Japan. These artists are literally starving. They're not making a living wage. So you have a lot of manga, a lot of anime artists that are starting up. Some are not successful, and they can't make a living. And what do you think is going to happen when these Chinese investors, these Chinese companies come in with a fresh check? They have money, cash money to spend. And of course, they're the boss. If you're paying the bills, you get to say what kind of content, they make. And of course, that content is going to change the big brother dynamic. It's going to be China coming to the rescue, not the U.S., not in their comics, right? Thailand is going to be part of China in their maps whenever they pop up. And they're going to make sure they pop up. And the maps are going to look like the way China wants them to look. And that's just only normal. And the reason is the Japanese government really is not supporting these artists. And in general, the West doesn't do that. It rewards the top artists by making them wealthy and rich. Whoever captures the market's heart. There is no minimum wage for these people. Especially when it comes to manga and anime, these people are working 6-7 days a week sometimes. They're working extra and they're not getting compensated properly. If you're, if you're working 6 and 7 days a week and you can't pay your bills completely, that's a problem. That's a real huge problem. So these artists can't even make a living wage. Of course they're going to take that money. It's only normal, because your landlord isn't going to wait. The electricity bill is not going to wait. The gas bill, whatever other bills these people have, the internet, they are not going to wait for them to hit it big with that one big manga comic that's going to make them rich. So now you have a brand new benefactor that's going to pay you to do what you love to do, with a caveat that he wants a certain type of content. And what is your job in any type of field, in any work where you're hired to do something? It's your job to do what your boss says, as long as it meets the company's goals. And if these people get hired and well paid to write animes with positive Chinese images, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. The long-term goal is to influence the public at large, of course, to view China in a more positive light, to have better relations with these countries where they have territorial disputes, because they know if people in general view your media as positive, or if the media itself is showing you in a positive light, it's more likely that people change their minds about certain things, and just in general. So these people really don't have a choice. If they're making that little money, if their government doesn't support them at all by not making sure that they have a living wage and they're taken care of properly, well, the Chinese government is just going to come in there and just fill that void that their own government is leaving. So what's going to happen? Exactly that. Because nobody's going to stop them. Other than this news report, there isn't a big push from anybody. Nobody's stepping up to the plate saying, no, don't take that money. Here, I will pay you. I will invest in your manga, or I will give you this or that and the other. That's not happening anytime soon. So the influence of China in these companies is only going to grow as that disparity of income is present in that market. There's cheap labor there, there's creators there, and they're going to take full advantage of that. Anime is very popular all over the world, not only here in the US, not only in Japan. It goes all over the place. So the influences that these particular artists could have in the long run could be great to newer generations. Newer generations are going to get to hear positive messages about China, because China is paying for it, because people are available to do it. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, guys. I think you're going to start seeing that within the next couple of years. All right, guys, thank you for joining me on this afternoon drive. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you guys subscribing. Please hit that like button for me. If you haven't done so, subscribe so you don't miss any of these interesting talks in our morning and afternoon drives. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.